were to understand the strategies of different nations, and also that should help you to formulate a strategy for your own self and for your organization wherever you are working, whether you have a private business or you're working for the government. So you should be able to formulate a strategy that how AI can be used. So Japan strategy will help us to understand that how they perceived AI, how they perceived AI, and what progress they made, and where they stand today, and how they are steering themselves to be more effective. Okay, so from my perspective, so these are my personal perspective on Japan's AI strategy. So you may just find more, but my personal perspective is that they were early starter, but they never thought that they are going to have a very strong competition. Okay? So I think they're it's not late finisher. So I would like to highlight like Japan AI policy, and then AI principles to AI governance, that how they started focusing more on governance than on innovation. And now they are finding themselves lacking and lagging. And now they are realizing that they are lagging, and now they are forced into a catch-up game, that they got to catch up with the USA, because in many technology they are way ahead of USA in electronics, in automotive industry, and so many, they have way ahead of everybody in this world. But in AI, apparently they are lagging, and now they are realizing that they got to do some catch up, and we'll precisely see that where they are lagging and why they are lagging. So they are early starter, like they have an AI policy in 2017, March of 2017. They have an AI policy where USA had only AI reports and no strategy or policy. And then the UAE had a policy in 2017 as well, and UK also had a policy. So it was like part of the countries, Japan, which had an AI policy. Okay, so you see Japan here. So in 2017, 2018, they have a documented policy, and this is also very interesting, and this should help us to understand. Then once they were making policy, what was their main thrust? Okay, so in Japanese policy, their main thrust was to handle social challenges, society as a whole, and they say they have human-centric AI policy, like human-centric. They were more concerned about the human, about their population, about their living. And then they have, on the other side of the spectrum, they had technological progress. So they kind of divided it into two parts. One is where they want the technological progress to also feed into having a better society. Okay, and we'll see that what is meant by better society. And then, as you can see, three different colors. You see red color, you see blue color, and then you see green color in this. So the red color is the productivity. They're focusing on productivity, and they divided it to go in three phases: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And then the blue one, which you see part of the technological progress, and as well as, so half of it is where you got to add technology, and half of it is where it is adding into the comfort of their citizens. So the health, medical care, and welfare. So AI, they wanted to use AI to have better healthcare facilities for their citizens. Okay, and productivity also, because it relates to people, that you make people to do work that is can increase their productivity without putting them into an environment which can harm their well-being, and And the third was which was mostly technological. It was mobility, that making AI to move with the platforms. So they have the mobility as the third part of their strategy, where it culminates into autonomous vehicles, and so, and then cyber and physical space, and then they were adding a lot of things. For example, if you look here, so they are more into driving assistance with obstacle recognition. I'm amazed that I have a car which is just I parked downstairs. It could actually read the speed limit. It would say now it is 50, now it is 80. And then it would not let you just change a lane without giving an indicator. It'll just will make it very difficult for you to change the lane. So they were kind of here, where they were having the driving assistance and risks predictions, and then moving here, creative cyberspace that accurately simulate physical spaces, and then high value added travel and development of peripheral industries such as automatic update service for mobile equipment. So in one, they were moving here. In another, for healthcare, they were moving here, where they have this preventive healthcare utilizing sensors and AI-aided healthcare. So they were moving here. And then the productivity, they are moving everywhere. The innovative services and products developed through enhanced creativity. So they are moving here. So they came up with a very interesting term, which is Society 5.0. Okay, like Industry 4.0. And even today, many countries are adopting to this concept, Society 5.0. Like they say Society 1.0, Society 2.0, Society 3.0, 4.0. And now they are envisioning a society which is AI driven. So the AI is an important method for the future design of the nation. And they say it is Society 5.0. And so that's how they basically track these societies. They say Society 1.0, primarily hunting and gathering, and Society 2.0 is agricultural, Society 3.0 is industrial, Society 4.0 is where in this society we live today, which is the information. Okay, so we are connected, we have this Facebook, Twitter, and all this. And this Society 5.0 is the new society they are envisioning. And it follows the hunting society, agriculture society, industrial society, and information society. So the hunting society was like the birth of the human being. But then the agrarian society was about 10,000 years back. Industrial society was triggered by first industrial revolution and light industry, steam engine, textile machines. Industry 3.0 was electricity, petroleum, motors. Industry 4.0 is computer, internet. And this is the fourth industrial revolution, and it is AI, digital transformation, IoT, blockchain. So this is the super smart society, which they say it is the Society 5.0, which is this, where you have IoT technology, blockchain, and healthcare, sustainable food, sustainable trans. So this is, and they have now G20 summit, where they are just telling everybody in G20 what this society is, where creativity, care, and connect. And as I was mentioning, this is like humanizing technologies. Like every technology should be put to the use of the society in general. Okay, whether it is agriculture, education, digital transformation, skills, they all are to be put to the use of this. So these are the main kind of points or features of Japanese Society 5.0. So they say it is 5.0, and program aims to solve various societal challenges, all using AI's help, including, so they have two main issues. One is their rapidly aging population. So after I think the 40% of their population will be 64 years or older. So they have like big aging population, and they don't know what to really do with them, because they won't be working, they need healthcare, they need assistance, and there's nobody to basically help them, assist them. So this is a big challenge they have seen. So that's what is important, like Japan seeing what is important for them, not what is important for the world. So they saw important for them is their rapidly aging population, and the second is declining birth rate. Now their workforce is diminishing, reducing every passing day, and they have their aging population. So they made these two the main pillars of their Society 5.0, and they said everything should just, end of the day, should help their rapidly aging population to have a comfortable life. So in Society 5.0, they have medical systems to interconnect and share information, remote medical care services, and then AI and robotics technology for nursing facilities. The initiative also promotes the use of autonomous taxis and public transportation vehicles, because they're going to be a reduced workforce, and they're just trying to make sure a society where the robots can take over many tasks, introducing more sensors, robots, AI into public infrastructure, and create seamless cashless payment environment. You don't have to even keep the cash, and somehow you can just make the payments as well. So in general, they say Society 5.0, Japan's vision is to live with robots. So they are going to live with the robots. So as I mentioned, by 2050, 40% of their population will be older than 65. Manpower will shrink to 13 million in next 20 years. So the master plan, as that government is looking for autonomous vehicles, nursing robots, remote healthcare powered by big data. So this is also they call as super smart society. Okay? And this is a human-centered society that balances economic advancement with the resolution of social problem by the system that highly integrates cyberspace and physical space. So more than economic advancement, they are into more resolving their social problems. So there are many things which are there in Society 5.0, but primarily, for example, so this for the current society, they have robot-supported caregiving, the same thing, the smart homes, agriculture, so energy diversification, local production. So, and primarily three things: give comfort, vitality, and high quality of life to their people. So they're just focusing on that. So in 2017, and this is where they went wrong from my perspective. Japanese, they went wrong, and now they are realizing it. So two things which I have seen, like perhaps they have went wrong. One is they use this triple helix model. A triple helix model is where you have three stakeholders: the businesses, the government, and the universities. And the government primarily provide a platform to make business meet the universities to do the research, more to do with facilitation. So they got to have platforms. The government got to have these platforms where they say, okay, this is an industrial problem, let's this university solve it. Right? So Triple Helix have these three major players. So this is way back 2017-18. Once they have this policy, and based on the policy, they have all these entities and all these relationships. For example, as I mentioned, so there is on one side of the stakeholders are, so one is the industry, the other one is the research, the universities, and the third one is the government. Okay, so the triple helix are interaction between these three players. The government's job is to provide platform. So they have this advisory council, making policies, coordination, information facilitation, and then executing policy. Funds they will also provide, simulating study programs, scholarships, technology, research institutes. So this is where they have universities, they have research institutions, and this is where they have industry. So they are famous for these three industries. They are famous for their robotics industry, they are famous for their automotive industry, they are famous for their electronic industry. So all these industries are connected somehow. The government is facilitating for them to be connected with research institutions. So they could fund the employees, the technology. Research institutions are giving them the technology, and government is not funding them, but robotics industry is funding the research institutes. Okay? So mostly this is what they are giving them technology, they are giving them fund. They are giving them technology, they are giving them fund, okay? And they are also directly doing scholarships to universities but major source of funds are coming from the industry. And they have startups, they are basically stimulating the startups, but funds are coming from the industry. So they just focus on providing a platform where they facilitate the academia to meet with the industry, okay, through their policies and through other incentives to the industry. Definitely there must be many. So here is where they have now they are like different industries. This is for the startup. Okay, those startups, they have now they are in detail that what different departments in the ministries are basically helping the startups to grow, and how research institutes are being funded by the same organization. So then they went down and to every sector. So this is for the startup, and then this is for the electronic sector. And we know electronic as NEC, Toshiba, Fujitsu, Panasonic, and others. So this is their electronic industry. And electronic industry, though they are also collaborating internationally, but the government is also making them to work with their different universities and research institutions. So these are all their research institutions where the funds are coming from the industry directly, and the government is just doing the facilitation role. Okay, so is the robotics industry, and almost the same thing is happening in the robotic industry as well. So this is a robotic industry. The research is happening in research institutions where the funds are coming from the industries or the other industries. So here is automotive is also like they have Toyota, they have Nissan, they have all this, and they are collaborating with internationally, and they have Honda, they have Mitsubishi, and the startups are more into the automotive industry. अच्छा एक मिनट इधर नहीं okay. So this is what their strategy was. And then perhaps the second thing wrong they did was they started regulating the AI. So they kind of got scared with what AI can actually do, and they started focusing more on putting regulations on this. So they kind of moved from AI principles to governance, and they were more worried about governing the AI, making laws like this is this is human centric, and so all this human centric, fair competition, education, welfare, innovation, but they are worried about the risks, and then how should it be designed, and hard laws, soft laws. So then you see even this is the Prime Minister. It's very recent, in October of 2023. He has given 10 basic rules for AI related businesses. So again, focusing more on regulation, that protecting human rights, preventing personal information from being to third parties without individual permission, information is provided, how data is acquired, and companies that develop AI platform providers of services utilize the technology, and users will be required to share some degree of responsibility. So focusing a lot more on the regulations, and once you have these regulations, because they are scared, unpredictability, unexplainability, like somebody also asked that, can you explain? So usually people cannot explain how these things are working. And so reflection of amplification of data biases. So there could be data biases in your data because it is being trained from the data, the privacy, security, fairness, and even they think it is a threat to democracy as well, the AI. So, and they are not alone in this, there is European Union also is drafting Artificial Intelligence Act, United States is drafting Algorithmic Accountability Act, and Canada is also drafting Artificial Intelligence and Data Act. So everybody is kind of worried, and they are saying there should be acts. So So this is Japan's Artificial Intelligence Strategy Council holds its first meeting with aim to create rules for AI use, not to promote. Now they are more into let's make use rules, and because government was already not kind of promoting AI, they were more facilitating, and things were happening in the industry and in the universities. So intellectual property protection blueprint states that MAIA will be devised to tackle copyright infringement linked to generative artificial intelligence. Like if it has generated something where it has used the text of some writer or the painting of some painter, so there is infringement, and they got to be compensated because their artwork is used by the generative AI to create a model. So they are getting into these things. Okay, so these are some of the laws that they are making. But everybody knows that regulation hurt innovation. Once you start regulating, so it impede that what you can achieve, because you are basically are restricting the use of AI. So that's a big threat that once you are making regulation, it basically impede your progress into innovation. Okay. So these are all like they have different acts relating to the same thing. Canada also has these acts. This is the United States of America. This is the bill for assessment of automated decision system and augmented critical decision process for the purpose. So they are making laws which governs the decision aiding, for example, data-driven decision making. But now here are the challenges. Laws cannot control new risks that may be brought about the innovation, while on the other hand, hindering the development of innovations. Because if you start putting people in jail, for example, those who are innovating, they will not innovate. So that's the strive for innovation-friendly policies are important. Otherwise, it will hinder into innovation. So is this Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Also gives AI principle that inclusive growth, sustainable development, and well-being through AI.
I think, sir, rules उनको भी उसी के हिसाब से ना balance करना है.
Yes, balance सही करते हैं आप. मसलन on one hand, if you look at it, you basically will say that if you are going to use it for some serious things, like if you have in your justice system and you are using AI, then there has to be some accountability of the algorithm, and how are you going to test and who has actually trained it, whether it is biased towards a certain class or people. So that's what it says. While regulating AI is somewhat necessary for preventing threats to fundamental values, there is a concern that the burden of compliance and the ambiguity of regulatory contents may stifle innovation. So this is perhaps Japan is also into this, but because nowadays they are more focused, though they still say Japan leaning towards softer AI rules than EU official close to deliberation says, because they are so these are like different regulations in Japan, which I told you that though they are making regulations, but it says the AI train in Japan is running fast that shows no signs of slowing down. So they're not really caring people what the Prime Minister is saying and what the other people are saying. They're still innovating. This is where the third thing which I want to really notice, that Japan is now forced into catch up. Why? Because if you look at the ranking of national AI strategy implementations, and here is this study where you could go and look at it, and there are 5 distinct dimensions: technology, infrastructure, AI startups, spending, patents, conferences, people. So we can see China is here, Germany is here, United Kingdom is here, India is here. So in technology it is kind of lacking, but in people, say many people, perhaps India is at the highest position. In trained human resource in AI, India is here, and Japan is somewhere here. So not many people are trained in AI, which also seems like true, because the universities are not kind of focusing that much on AI, but technology obviously they are already ahead some way, but USA is ahead of everybody. Okay, but even in USA, not people wise they are, and this is where present market and future markets, who is ahead. So India is kind of ahead of everybody, and then the Germany and the Singapore and the China is here, and South Korea is here, and Japan is here. So, but there is a rise of AI in Japan. All is generated by generative AI. This ad is generated by generative AI. This is where they realized that Japan needs computing power surge to stay in AI race. So this is the government advisor for AI. They realize this is very, very interesting. So here is, they have like 3,000 companies in Japan have access to supercomputer at the government's National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, offering 0.8 exaflops of computing power. So government is providing a supercomputing facility for 3,000 companies to use them, and it is not even 1/10 of what Microsoft-based OpenAI has access to when it created the popular chatbot. This just tells you the whole story, that the 3,000 companies have like the access to the computing facility, okay, which is not even 1/10 of what Microsoft has for their OpenAI. So that's why they believe, and this is his statement, that Japan needs to rapidly expand computing power as it vies to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. The government's key priority is computing power. So it's all about computing power, which we almost have zero. Zero. We stand at zero. But that's the game. All we are studying is like, this is, you can be very dumb. Okay, you can be very dumb, but you got to have, humongous amount of compute at your disposal to train anything. So learn a little, just let the compute to do the rest. So that's what they are also realizing. We feel a real sense of crisis about this. Mori, a ruling Liberal Democratic Party lawmaker who heads the government AI strategy team, told Reuters in an interview. So they want, they are understanding that where they are lacking. Okay.
But still, sir, we have formulated AI policy at national level.
We have a draft.
Okay.
No, we don't have an AI policy at national level. I'll share with you what I was working on, and now there is a draft, but I don't think so.
So draft means that there is no actually practical.
No. It's a draft. They gave some money to somebody to create, and he put everything in the draft. So you will find there is everything, but there is nothing actually. Because once, look at Japan, they're just focusing on one thing, Society 5.0. So we need to find out our problems, and we say we are going to use AI for this. Right? But if you look at like what they have created a draft, it has everything in it. It has agriculture, it has industry, it has healthcare, it has traffic, it has, and there's no plan. Okay, you cannot, because you don't have resources to do everything. So that's the problem with our strategies, that they are just, it's mostly cut and paste. So they just cut and paste all because all these policies are available on the internet. So if you ask, even you can ask ChatGPT to create an AI policy for Pakistan. It will create a very good document. Create a very good document.
Probably they have also used this.
Perhaps they have also used this to generate. So I think Japan kind of is lacking, and they also understand. They got to play a catch-up on generative AI. Okay? So this is where the Japan stands, and this is also interesting that their Liberal Democratic Party released its AI white paper recognizing the need to formulate a new national strategy. And now they have realized that was flawed. There were problems in the policy they made, and now they got to have a new AI policy which acknowledges this growth, evolution, and social implementation of large-scale language AI models, where a new era of AI is envisioned. So they think that now there is this turn of large language models, and they got to use it. So this is what they are thinking about it, and they think that by 2032, the AI market in Japan is going to be $27.12 billion US. And I think it's a very good opportunity for Pakistan as well, because they have lack of human resource. Okay, they have been coming to Pakistan to nurse everywhere where they want to hire people, because they don't have human resource. And AI is going to be a big sector, and I believe that though it is not good, like kind of brain drain, but I think very good opportunities for us as Pakistanis to excel and to find opportunities in Japan, because it seems like it's going to grow and you can find yourself somewhere on this curve to grow. So this is about the AI policy of Japan. So we will cover another in the next class, but very interesting insight that you get. Let's